Okay, YouTube, we back with another one for you, this time on the Mafex Riddler from Batman Hush. After some delays, we got hit with both the Scarecrow and the Riddler in the same week, which means another 130 Canadian dollars to my door from Hobby Genki. Let's jump right into the review. So don't expect too much from this figure. It is the Riddler, very basic comic character, a dude in a suit. I think the colors came out really nice. The green looks really good in contrast with the purple. We have some gold accents on the shoes, so that's a really nice detail, and the cuffs are showing from underneath the suit jacket. But yeah, pretty basic, just a green suited figure. There doesn't really appear to be any shading on this figure, it's solid colors. There is some highlights in the hair, but different from what we saw with the figure that came out the same week, the Scarecrow. There's a lot of different variations of brown in the Scarecrow and different variations of gray, so, much better painted figure than the Riddler. I appreciate some of the subtle details, like the question mark in the hat and on the tie as well. And like I mentioned before, the gold buckles on the shoes. I do think that maybe the tie should have been a darker purple, and then this would have become more prominent like it is in the comics. But I'm glad they just put that there. Taking a look at the head sculpt, I don't think they quite got the head sculpt right. I mean, it's okay, it can pass as the Riddler, but I feel like he just looked a lot more sinister in the comic, the Batman Hush comic, so let me see if I can find a picture. I guess what I'm trying to say is he does look a little bit more menacing in the comics, with this gritty face. And maybe it's just the facial expression on this particular head sculpt, but I do feel like they didn't really get the Riddler's face right on this figure. With that said, I still think this is a good representation of the Riddler, and I think it fits very well in with the Batman Hush line. Jumping into the articulation, we'll start with the head. You cannot look up at all with the head sculpt. That's about as far as you can go, and you can look down approximately that much. The head can turn side to side, and it can tilt side to side as well. Here's a look at the ball joint. It's actually not a curved Mafex peg as per usual. It's just a straight peg. The arms can move up about that much, and they can rotate forward pretty much all the way and back. There's a butterfly joint, but it doesn't produce that much movement. It almost gets the arm straight out in front of them versus out to the side. Something to note, if you look inside the shoulder joint, you might not be able to catch it on camera, but that is a very small ball peg in there, and it's probably prone to breaking, so just be careful. Don't force anything. Don't force any movement on the shoulders of this figure. There's no bicep cut, so the rotation will come from the upper arm. You have double jointed elbows. We have our standard Mafex. Okay, it's not broken. It's just not glued in properly. There's barely any glue in there to begin with, so that cuff is, yeah, there we go. Okay. Had my heart stop for a second there, but standard Mafex wrist pegs where you can just come in and out, and then if you rotate upwards, you can move up and down. My other wrist pegs are glued in properly, so I'll just add some super glue to that side. We have a closed suit jacket, so naturally you're not going to get much forward flexion. It is there, but it basically bends about that much. Can go back much better. And there is some side-to-side movement as well. The hips are on a drop down, so it can kick up about that much without doing too much stress to the suit. Can come out to the side about that much, get about that much backwards. The hip rotation is going to come from way up in the hip joint there. We have double jointed knees. The pant cuffs prevent too much movement up and down from the ankles, so you don't really get much in terms of up and down, but you do get ankle in and out, and you also have a toe hinge. I almost had another heart attack, but the left foot of mine just comes off so easily, but that's okay. It's a ball peg, it just pops right back on. But yeah, it doesn't take much to remove it. So that's it for articulation. I mean, it is the Riddler. He's not supposed to be hyper articulated or anything like that. Maybe if the suit was undone, we can get a little bit more forward flexion, and if they added that curved Mafex joint, we probably could have got a little bit more looking up movement, but this is all that we got, and it's fine. So if Edward Nygma ever wants to square up with Batman, he can, I guess. Let's take a look at the accessories. First up, we have the alternate head sculpt, and I think this one looks a little bit better. You got the smiling, grinning face here. The hair looks a little bit better, more comic accurate. There's some nice shading throughout the hair there. Just look at the two head sculpts side to side. The more I mess around with this figure, the more it feels like they kind of rushed this. I have a huge gap in between the, I guess, the purple and the green there. It just wasn't really glued properly by the looks of it. I just realized that when you look down with the figure, you run the risk of digging into the paint in the neck there. So I've taken out a chunk of paint, and there is the chunk of paint stuck on the inside of the neck there. You get 7 pairs of interchangeable hands. First we have our fist hands, that are already on the figure. You get 1 pair of gripping hands, a pair of pointing hands, a pair of stylized gripping hands, a pair of open palms, a pair of relaxed palms, and another pair of relaxed palms. I think I may have gotten 2 pairs of the same hand. I don't know if anybody can confirm in the comment section, but yeah, these look identical. I think it might be the same hand. The Riddler comes with a question mark cane. That came out really nice. You get a pretty boring looking stack of cash. There's a little bit of a design on one side, and then it's just green plastic. So this is a pretty ugly, useless accessory. And lastly, you get this bag, and I don't know if it's supposed to be a bag of money or a bag of trash, but there's some indentations making it look like there's actually something inside. So I guess the sculpt is pretty nice, but I don't really know what it is. Lastly, if you collect the Mafex Hush line, you're going to have a million of these stands. So let's move into some size comparisons. Here he is next to the Batman Hush Nightwing, Catwoman, and Batman. Next to Mafex Huntress, Poison Ivy, and Scarecrow. Next to Joker and Harley Quinn. Next to Mafex Superman from Batman Hush. Not really the right time period, but next to the Nightfall Batman and Bane. Marvel Legends Tracksuit Goons. And in case you're trying to scale it with Mezco, here is the Golden Age Joker. So there you have it, Riddler from Batman Hush. I think this figure is okay, just okay. I think you might be able to just wait and get this on discount somewhere. I don't think it's going to sell out. I still think it's a really good rendition of the Riddler, and I think it fits very well in with the Batman Hush line, and I think you'll be happy if you do purchase this figure just to add to your ever-growing Batman Rogues gallery. If you found this review helpful, hit that thumbs up and subscribe buttons. Leave a comment below on whether or not you're picking up this Riddler. Head on over to plastic.life on Instagram for more action figure pics. And always remember, at the end of the day, it's your collection. Buy whatever makes you happy. I hope you'll catch my next videos. Take care.